So, we're now in New Jersey doing our next bourbon tasting. It's been a little while, but we've been excited.
Hi, everybody.
And we've got a very special bottle for this particular bourbon tasting.
Yellowstone. Do you know I went to Yellowstone National Park this summer for vacation? Is this why you chose this bottle? Has nothing to do with that, does it?
It has absolutely nothing to do with that. But that would have been very thoughtful of me if I had.
I was going to say, how unique and thoughtful.
I wish I was this thoughtful. My wife would clearly say I'm not. So this is pure random coincidence.
He's right. Tell me about this bottle.
So Yellowstone is a bottle that I was introduced to when I was in New Orleans. I went to a very cool place called the New Orleans Bourbon Society. All of you out there would absolutely love it. About 150 bourbons on tap. This is what the bartenders highly recommended. I'll give you one little fact before we taste it. So this was created in 1872, Yellowstone.
Oh, it's old.
By like the great-great-grandfather of the Beam brothers.
Like Jim Beam?
Of the Jim Beam fame.
Beam.
Exactly.
Okay.
In the 1960s, Yellowstone was the most popular bourbon in all of Kentucky.
Really?
And just a couple years ago, the Beam grandchildren got a hold of this brand again and started releasing limited edition bourbons. And this is one of the first ones that they released.
Very cool history. You're so smart.
I love Google. It's really useful.
You do your research, man.
So this is, so I'm going to open it up.
Okay. And I love these glasses that we're using this time. We actually have actual, bourbon tasting glasses. It's really cool to see how they're shaped, not meant for ice, as you told me prior. And they have some cool writing on the inside.
Well, we did get some complaints in our prior reviews that basically said too much ice.
Too much ice.
And why did we have so much ice?
Because the bourbon stunk.
No, that was only one of the bourbons.
One of them.
But where were we?
We were in Florida, where it was hot and sticky.
Very hot and sticky. Now we're in New Jersey.
Where it's snowy and cold and icy.
It's freezing.
And we need some nice hot bourbon to warm up our inside.
And we will see. We'll see just how good it is. Now, I tasted a tiny bit in New Orleans, but I got to be honest with you. I had a lot of bourbon before I tasted this.
So you were feeling good.
Everything tasted delicious. So let's see how it is. It's a dark, very dark.
Yeah, it is dark. It's almost cherry dark. It's like maraschino cherry dark.
Let's do a little bit of a pour.
Okay. And I remember from our prior tutorials all about the nose.
So let's.
Very strong.
It's a high proof bourbon, so it's 100.
Smells like a high proof bourbon.
I think it's 101 proof bourbon.
I mean,
so it's definitely got a little bit of a tang on the nose, but it's a dark caramel color. It's not a light color.
I mean, the alcohol hits you as soon as you put your nose to it. I mean, too many of these, and you're not gonna be going home the same person.
Or with the same person.
Or with the same person.
One way or the other.
Or with several
something's
people.
going to change in your life. But the other thing is, and this is one other last bit that I read, it was finished in toasted wine barrels.
Toasted wine
barrels. So they actually took a wine barrel, and wine barrel often gives a little sweetness to the bourbon, but they toasted it to see...
What is toasting it?
I don't know how you put a wine barrel in a toaster oven. I don't even know how it even works.
Toasted wine. I mean, I know toasted coconut, but toasted wine... You're fascinating me. I am so fascinated now. I can't wait to try this.
Well, why don't we give it a try?
It's a vibe. Not as biting strong as I suspected it would, or I expected it to be. It goes down very smooth.
It's a strong bourbon, but has a very mild flavor.
Mild flavor. I mean, it's definitely strong, but
what are some of the essences?
Almost like vanilla. I almost have a little bit of a vanilla essence in it because it's so mild.
I feel a little bit of nuttiness. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's toasted almond.
Well, you mentioned the toasted.
Yeah, I mentioned
the toasted part.
It's clearly toasted. I don't necessarily feel wine, right? Like a red wine or a white wine. I don't really feel the essence of the wine, but I do
But you know what, though? It's funny because it's smooth like a wine is. You know, like a lot of wine drinkers don't necessarily go for bourbon because they think it's too strong or they think it's too biting. This actually would appeal to a wine drinker because it's not at all biting. It goes down very smooth. It goes down actually kind of like a wine does. You know, but you know what? Now I'm getting. You know, what I'm getting now. I'm getting now.
The long tail. The long tail. The burn.
Yes. Right here, I'm getting it like all in my throat.
It's actually amazing because I don't think I've ever had a bourbon that lingers as long and then has this burn that kind of comes upon you like 15, 20 seconds later.
Yes. How long were we chatting about it after our initial gulp, and then I just all of a sudden felt
and the whole
burn
time we were talking about it, I was feeling the burn
going down the burn. Burn, baby, burn.
I was more back in the political feel the burn, but okay, we're in different places.
Okay,
the bottom line is it's going to take you someplace different.
Wait, I want one more taste.
One more taste. You know, it softens up on the palate too a little bit. The more you drink it, it softens up.
Because you get used to it and you expect it. Oh, but you know what? On a cold winter's night like it is tonight, and it's so snowy outside and it's so windy. Oh, this bourbon just fills up your insides with warm.
I think great granddaddy Beam would be very proud of this bourbon.
Oh, he would love us for drinking this.
He would, and I think he'd be very proud of his grandchildren for resurrecting a brand that languished for a while and now is back. And I gotta say, my opinion, I think it's back in a big way.
All right, so let's. What are our takeaways? Smooth, mild, vanilla, a wine lover's type of bourbon, wouldn't you say?
I think for an entry-level bourbon drinker, they would love this because it's not aggressive.
No, non-aggressive. I love that. I love when you say that.
It's soft but still flavorful. So you're not. It doesn't disappear from your tongue.
Okay, so when we say it's warm, it's like the kindling. It's not like fiery, blazy. It's like the kindling. It's like the soft, slow burn, and it just fills you all up as you swallow it. It's lovely.
Wow, your description's even better than the bourbon.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, my friend.